This is how I write music. Most of what I learned in writing music comes from the Beatles. I'm a huge Beatles fan and I've read a lot about how they write songs. One of the things they do is start with a basic idea or concept for a song and then work around it. For this particular song that I wrote called Piano House, my basic idea was to write a progressive rock song with the electric guitar solo as the main melody, but I don't want it to sound very loud. So I decided to use the piano as the only rhythm instrument playing the chord progression. I also use a digital audio workstation called BandLab to create digital audio tracks of different instruments and record my guitar. So the next thing is to figure out the basic musical structure like the key signature, chord progression, rhythm, and melody. Starting with the chord progression, I didn't really know what to use at the time, but I do know that it has to be a major key instead of a minor key because I wanted it to have a lively vibe. And something I learned from a lot of artists is that you don't need to be original at all. In fact, most of them get their ideas from existing ideas, just like Picasso said, good artists copy, great artists steal. So I decided to steal from Mozart. I searched on YouTube for other symphonies composed by Mozart that I haven't heard before, and I came across Symphony number 41 and it sounds like this. I like it, but I only stole the first four notes, which is C, D, F, E. I then played it on piano, but differently. It has a different time signature, and I played it like broken chords. So if we compare them, this is what it sounds like. The great thing about stealing from Mozart is that he can't sue me for copyright. The next thing is to create melody. However, I find it easier to create melodies if there's already a beat or rhythm because it helps stimulate the brain with how the notes should dance around. Oftentimes, melodies are just drum beats that have pitch or note. So I create the drum beats first, which sounds like this. It's more of a metal style drums because that's my taste. Now, creating melody is the hardest part for me and it's the longest part of the process. One thing I learned from Steve Vai is that when you write melodies on the guitar, you tend to play the usual scales or patterns from songs you know. But when you create a melody that comes from your inner ear, that's when you can find the more organic or natural melody because it is not limited to what your fingers are used to playing. So I created all the melodies on the software first and learned them on the guitar after. These are the draft samples of the melodies I did on the software. The next step then is to learn them on guitar and record. The challenge though is that some of these patterns are a bit too hard for my level of skill. So in order to record it cleanly, I had to do some recording tricks. So I didn't record it from start to finish in one take. I cut the complicated parts into pieces with multiple guitar tracks recorded separately. You can see here that there are more than one guitar tracks. The three verses are pretty much the same, so I only needed to record them once and then copy and paste them within the software. My favorite part is the guitar duet or harmonies. This is the main melody. And this is the second melody that is a variation of different notes under the same chord. This is how they sound when combined. The bridge was a challenge for me because the original melody I created was too complicated for me to learn on guitar and I got lazy by the time. This is what the original should have sounded like. As a guitarist, when you run out of ideas, the last option is tapping. When the recording is all done, the last thing to do is mixing. I had to balance the sound and volume of each track to make the entire song just sound right, and also add some reverb if needed. We're in a generation now where technology is so advanced that you can record and produce your own music without a studio. I just wanted to share this experience and thank you for watching.